good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session of NutriLIV 360. I am your host, Rajata. Let's start the best of health and best of fitness journey by understanding a few things right. What to eat, how to eat, and when to eat. And for those of us thinking, ये भी नहीं पता क्या हमें? Trust me, you're in for a treat. To start the session, it is my honor and privilege to invite Farooq Tarapur. He, ladies and gentlemen, is an Olympian, two-time world champion in sailing, and has had an active sporting career of 40 years. He's won innumerable awards, including the Chhatrapati Shivaji Award and the Arjuna Award. But most importantly, he's a mentor to each and every one of us on the group with the mission Har Ghar Healthy, Har Ghar Medicine Free. Let's listen to him very, very carefully. Over to you, Farooq.
Thank you, Ruchita. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this exciting Monday session. I just hope that you had an early dinner because there's nothing worse than having a late night dinner and then going to sleep. From all the recommendations that we have made on this community or on this group, we have found that eating dinner early by about 6:30 has produced the maximum effect. In fact, people who started practicing it have noticed a huge change in their overall health. So do not take this, a simple change. Just because it is simple and it is easy, to do, it is also easy not to do. And you can be, dragged into having late night dinners. Now, I understand that it's not possible every single day. But it should not be that every single day you're having a late night dinner. So try and, ensure that this, this little recommendation, you take it to heart and you sort of really make changes. I see a lot of people giving me lots of excuses. So far, there's not been a single excuse, that has agreed with me. I mean, people say that they are in the office. I often ask them that, are you not in the office during lunch? Then where do you have lunch? In the office, right? The same way you can have dinner in the office. So where there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way around your challenges and around your problems. I know some of you have some, really serious challenges over there, but still you can find a way around it. And you'll only find a way around it if you realize the importance of this change that you're making for your health. Also, what to eat is very important. How to eat is also very important. Which supplement to be taken, when, which supplement not to be combined with which supplement. So all these are very, very important issues that you need to understand. That is the reason why we keep having this community and keep inviting you to come over over these sessions again and again, so that you can take a little bit in every session and start putting it into practice. You're very fortunate today. You're going to be hearing from Raj. Raj was, a top level executive, while ensuring that he, goes up the corporate ladder. He had no idea, what to eat, when to eat, how to eat. But when he joined the community and he took this thing to heart, he really changed his health around. He not only is impacting, people from his group, but people all across the country to change their health. So listen to him very carefully, because what he has to say will have a tremendous impact not only on your health, but the health of your friends and family around you. So over to you, Raj.
Thank you very much, Farooq, and thank you for setting up that context for the meeting tonight. And as Farooq rightly said, that the most of the challenges that we see today are mainly because of the food. There was a time when India में खाने की कमी थी, and a lot of people were dying because there was no food available. I mean, there were people who would hardly get three-course meals, right? And आज उसका उल्टा हो गया. There is enough food, and hence people are dying because of eating food. So tonight's topic is very, very important because, when I saw this topic for the first time, I realized that what are the common mistakes that we do in our daily life. And more than that, these mistakes set up a culture in our family. And because of this culture, we become prey to a lot of lifestyle disorders and diseases. And hence, आज की तारीख में जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है वो ये है कि आपका जो हेल्थ स्पैन है और आपका जो लाइफ स्पैन है, ओके, सॉरी, या आपका जो हेल्थ स्पैन है, आपका जो लाइफ स्पैन है, आर दे गोइंग हैंड इन हैंड? So, the most important for tonight is what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat. Aligning your inner body clock. I mean, the most important thing. आप कहीं भी किसी भी फैमिली में चले जाइए, आप सिर्फ उसके ये दो तीन सवाल पूछ लीजिए, दैट हाउ इज देयर फूड पैटर्न, व्हाट आर दे ईटिंग, व्हाट टाइम ऑफ द डे आर दे ईटिंग, एंड कहीं ना कहीं आप उनके लाइफस्टाइल को प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हो। आप आने वाले उनके जो हेल्थ चैलेंजेस होंगे आप उसको प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हैं। I'll give you a very small example. We've got a young lady in our extended family, a very, very young lady. She works for military. So overall, the health span is overall जो health है वो बहुत अच्छा है. लेकिन at the age of 29, she is suffering through a lot of challenges. कोलेस्ट्रॉल बहुत बड़ा हुआ है, प्री डायबिटिक लेवल पे है, एंड कहीं ना कहीं उसने ये मान लिया है बिकॉज उसकी फैमिली में जेनेटिक है, इसीलिए उसको भी ये चीज होगा। बट अगर आप उसके हैबिट्स को देखोगे, आई थिंक इफ शी कैन जस्ट मेक सम करेक्शन इन द हैबिट्स, आपको ये वरी करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि अगर आपकी डीएनए में है या आपको जेनेटिक है तो भी आप उसको सफर करोगे, बिकॉज अगर हम इस हैबिट्स को करेक्ट कर लेंगे सो बहुत सारी इश्यूज को रिवर्स किया जा सकता है। एंड द अदर डे दिस इज द कन्वर्सेशन दैट आई वाज हैविंग विद हर। सो so it is all about finding your mindful eating cycle. Why do we eat? When do we eat? What do we eat? How do we eat? How much should I be eating? And where do I invest my energy? Like where does the energy goes? So ये जो कुछ बेसिक सवाल है ये आज आप देखोगे यहाँ पे कवर होएगा। एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट, जो ये सारे सवाल है ये कहीं ना कहीं हमारे हेल्थ स्पैन और हमारे लाइफ स्पैन को डिफाइन करते हैं। Now, what is a balanced diet? Initially I used to feel that a balanced diet is your plate needs to have salad, some sweet dish, rice, roti, some vegetables, dal. अगर ये है तो आपका plate balanced diet है, right? बाद में मुझे समझ में आया that what is the true definition of a balanced diet? A true definition of a balanced diet कि आपकी प्लेट में right set of nutrition होने चाहिए, micro and macro both. Macronutrients होता है which is carbs, your fats, protein. Micronutrient होता है जो कि विटामिन, मिनरल, एंड जो फाइटोन्यूट्रिएंट्स होता है, ये सारी चीज आपके फूड प्लेट में होना चाहिए। नाउ, हैंड ऑन आवर हार्ट, हाउ मेनी पीपल नो दैट ये सारा हमारी बॉडी को चाहिए कितना, किस फूड में मिलेगा, वो उस फूड में है भी या नहीं है, एंड हमारी बॉडी को ये सारी चीज हमारी बॉडी ऑब्जर्व कर पाएगी। सो ये जो बेसिक क्वेश्चन है, वी ऑल एग्री वेरी वेरी नाइसली, हम सब इस चीज को एग्री करते हैं कि फूड में वो न्यूट्रिशन नहीं है जो उसमें होना चाहिए, राइट? लेकिन हम इसके बारे में कर क्या रहे हैं? शुड वी बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन द मेडिकल पिल्स इसको सब्सटीट्यूट करने के लिए? ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज ऑफ आवर प्रोफाइल एंड ऑल द स्टफ, मोस्ट ऑफ अस कैनॉट गो टू अ कंट्री साइड लाइफ जहाँ पे हम जाके अपना खुद का क्रॉप उगाएं, एक अच्छे रिवर का पानी लें और ये सारी चीजें हम कंट्रोल करें, पॉसिबल नहीं है। बट कहीं ना कहीं अगर हमारे फूड प्लेट से बैलेंस डाइट नहीं रहेगा, दिस इज द रूट कॉज विच लीड्स टू ऑल द लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर्स दैट वी सी टुडे। यू नो वी नीड कार्ब्स, वी नीड फैट्स। फैट्स में भी दो इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं विच इज ओमेगा 3 एंड ओमेगा 6 फैटी एसिड्स। नाउ इनकी जो रेशियो है वो डिफाइन करती है आपके हेल्थ पैरामीटर्स को। वी नीड प्रोटीन, वी नीड वाइटामिन, वी नीड मिनरल्स। ये वो सारी चीज है जिससे एक प्लेट कंप्लीट होता है। Now there are two major challenges when you see this. Number one, the bioavailability of all this nutrients in the soil, hence in your food. सेकेंड, हमारा बॉडी फूड में से इसको एक्सट्रैक्ट करके ऑब्जॉर्व भी करना चाहिए। बहुत सारे लोग का बिकॉज दे हैव अ फैटी लिवर, लिवर उस हेल्दी स्टेट में नहीं है, सो फूड से न्यूट्रिशन एक्सट्रैक्ट ही नहीं कर पाता है। नाउ दैट्स द सेकंड बिगेस्ट चैलेंज दैट वी फेस। सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट दिस कम्युनिटी इज, ये जो कम्युनिटी है, ये जो सेशंस है, ये वो सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को कवर करता है जो आपको एक अच्छी हेल्दी लाइफ जीने में आपकी हेल्प करेगा, राइट? This is how our food plate should look like. 13% of the food needs to be fruits. 7% of the plate needs to be pulses, egg, fish, or meat. 25% of the plate needs to have milk or curd. 2% of the plate needs to have nuts and seeds. 2% of the plate essential fats राइट, 30% ऑफ द प्लेट। अगर आप देखेंगे तो ऑलमोस्ट हाफ ऑफ द प्लेट जो है दैट हैज सीरियल्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स एंड ग्रीन लीफी वेजिटेबल्स। इस तरीके से हमारा फूड प्लेट दिखना चाहिए। आज आप विजुअलाइज करके देखिए इस प्लेट को, इन द मॉर्निंग व्हाट वी हैड और प्रॉब्ली इन द लंच व्हाट वी हैड, आप दोनों को एक बार कंपेयर करके देखिए, इज व्हाट वी आर ईटिंग, यू नो, दिस इज व्हाट इज रिकमेंडेड वर्सेस व्हाट वी आर हैविंग। So because of what we are having as a general practice, most of the people in the breakfast, they tend to skip their breakfast. Either they'll have two toast or they'll have a couple of biscuits with a coffee or a tea, and वही हमारा ब्रेकफास्ट हो जाता है। थोड़ी देर के लिए फुल तो हो जाता है पेट, बट कहीं ना कहीं जो न्यूट्रिशनल डेफिशिएंसीज है वो धीरे धीरे शुरू हो जाती है, यू नो। Design your first meal of the day. You know, the first meal is the most important meal of the day. Very for the very obvious reasons, because break fast, you are breaking that fast. जो हम ओवरनाइट जो हम खाना नहीं खाते हैं, मतलब जो आप सो जाते हो और जब सुबह उठते हो, बॉडी को भी अपना मेटाबॉलिस जो मेटाबॉलिक प्रोसेस है उसको इनिशिएट करने के लिए द बॉडी नीड्स द राइट सेट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, इट नीड्स द राइट सेट ऑफ एनर्जी, द राइट सेट ऑफ द फैट्स, द विटामिन्स, द मिनरल, प्रोटीन, वो सारी चीजें चाहिए। सो इट बिकम्स वेरी वेरी एसेंशियल दैट वी नीड टू डिजाइन द फर्स्ट प्लेट ऑफ द मील इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। इसमें कॉम्प्लेक्स कार्ब्स होना चाहिए, विच मीन्स समथिंग लाइक ज्वार, बाजरा, रागी, होल व्हीट, ब्राउन राइस, ओट्स, ये सारी चीजों आप इनकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हो। द ब्रेकफास्ट नीड्स टू बी फुल विद प्रोटीन। You can have sprouts, various pulses like beans, lentils, nuts like peanuts, almonds, cashew, ये सारी चीजें होनी चाहिए जो एक राइट प्रोटीन का सोर्स है। एंड यू शुड ऑल्सो हैव वेजिटेबल्स एंड फ्रूट्स। what is recommended in the community that you need to have fruits first thing in the morning, and उसके आधे घंटे के बाद start your breakfast, you know। but honestly a lot of Indian population, आप आने वाले सीरीज में जो हम ये नॉलेज सेशन करते हैं आप उसमें देखेंगे दैट इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या हो रहे हैं। जब आप मॉर्निंग न्यूट्रिशन, वी हैव अ सेपरेट सेशन ऑन दिस टॉपिक दैट व्हाई मॉर्निंग न्यूट्रिशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट और इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या क्या हो रहे हैं। सो दिस इज व्हाई द फर्स्ट मील ऑफ द डे इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि आप प्रोटीन ले रहे हैं कि नहीं ले रहे हैं, ओमेगा 3 फैटी एसिड्स ले रहे हैं। देखिए अर्लियर डेज में क्या होता था, ये सारी चीज को इतना ध्यान देने की जरूरत नहीं थी, बिकॉज आर environmental factors were good, the air, the quality of air, the quality of water, the soil quality, everything was good, so ये सारी चीजों की चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं थी। सो कहीं ना कहीं जो हमारे फूड प्लेट बने वो पराठे, इडली, डोसा, ये सारी चीजें उसमें डिफाइन हुई। But आज की तारीख में it is very important for one to understand that, you know, just by knowing a idli or a uttappam is not enough. What you need to ensure is, does your breakfast or the meal has the right set of vitamins and minerals in it? Does it have the right set of protein in it? Does it carry the right set of omega 3 fatty acids in it? ये चीज अब डिफाइन करती है फूड प्लेट को, you know. So what you need to remove from your food plate is refined carbs, you know, something like white bread, white rice, white pasta, basically anything that is processed, is in the processed form, you know, usko nikal dijiye. What you also need to remove is saturated fats, solid fats like butter, you know, coconut oil, whole milk, ये सारी चीजें जो है one needs to, like for example, जो हम baked foods है, fried food items like pakoras, namkeens, चकलेट्स, चिप्स, समोसास, ये सारी चीजें हमें एलिमिनेट करने की जरूरत है। We had this, I belong to North India, and हमारे घर में earlier during my mom, like पहले ये बहुत बड़ा कल्चर था कि हफ्ते में एक दिन पकोड़े जरूर ब्रेकफास्ट में बनते थे, once in 15 days समोसा जरूर सर्व होता था, you know, और कुछ नहीं तो ब्रेड बहुत कॉमन हुआ करता था। And now we have realized that what is the importance of this thing, you know, and I'm very proud in sharing this. Recently, I've done my blood test, been done, and my reports were like absolutely perfect. This year, I'll be 50. Thanks to this community, मैं जो अपने reports देखता हूँ, it is like absolutely perfect. And कुछ parameters है जिसपे आप continuous आपको काम करने की जरूरत है. And hence the community helps in defining the right health goals for you. You know. You need to replace your calorie dense food, right, which is high in calorie, low in essential nutrient, provides a quick energy. They often lack the essential nutrients. They often highly processed and high in fat and sugar or both, bad for your health and may result in weight gain. Examples include high calorie desserts, processed foods, and fast food, etc., you know. इसको we need to replace with a nutrient dense food, something which is low in calorie, high in essential nutrient, provides sustained energy while also delivering the nutrient, Usually whole food and unprocessed foods are very important, good for overall well-being. Example includes whole grains, whole fruits, vegetable, etc. You know, see the difference. ये दोनों जो फूड आप देख रहे हैं, वन साइड यू आर सीइंग अ सिंगल ब्रेड पकोड़ा, on the other side, on the left hand side, you are seeing 2 cup of pineapple and 1 cup of blueberries. Both carry the same amount of calories, but imagine the impact it is going to create on your pancreas and on your liver. Yes, sometimes this is very important for you to know and understand. The most important thing is to manage our gut health, and the second most important is to manage our liver and pancreatic health. Because अगर ये दो चीज, तीन चीज इनफैक्ट ठीक रहेंगे, आपकी 90% ऑफ द डिसऑर्डर्स जो है वो आप कंट्रोल में रख पाएंगे. सो गट हेल्थ इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसके भी ऊपर एक सेपरेट सेशन होएगा जब आप गट हेल्थ को डिटेल से समझोगे, एंड व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू गिव फोकस ऑन योर लिवर एंड पैनक्रेटिक हेल्थ. Overall, from a calorie perspective, both the food have got the equal set of calories in it. But when you look at it from a liver perspective or from a pancreatic perspective, आप देखिए कि that which is good for your body, right? We need to avoid refined sugar. जब से हम इस प्रोग्राम में आए, we don't buy sugar. There is no sugar in our house. You need to avoid junk food. Sometimes we tend to take our health for granted, and especially in this environment where the outside parameters, where you have got no control on the outside parameters, be it your air pollution, the water pollution, the stress level, the quality of the soil that we are living, like that produces that food. ये सब पे शायद आपका control नहीं है, but the choices that you make is what you eat and what you want to eat. You'll see a huge difference in your health. Junk food, smoke. मुझसे किसी ने सवाल पूछा था कि आई मीन बर्गर नहीं खाएंगे तो लाइफ कैसे एंजॉय करेंगे. यू नीड टू मेक अ चॉइस, राइट. यू नीड टू मेक दैट चॉइस दैट हाउ डू यू सी योरसेल्फ, लाइक आप आपका हेल्थ गोल क्या है. समटाइम्स जरूरी नहीं है कि जंक फूड का के ही लाइफ एंजॉय होगी. सो यू नीड टू मेक द राइट चॉइसेस, एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट दिस कम्युनिटी इज व्हेन यू मीट द लाइक माइंडेड पीपल, you tend to adapt to the right habits. You need to avoid alcohol, you need to avoid spicy food, caffeine, processed food, calorie dense food, spend time on screen during meals and before bedtime. ये कुछ habits है which you'll see that if you avoid, you'll see a significant difference on your health. Do what things that you need to focus on. Eat preferably during the daylight. आप देखेंगे अभी मैं थोड़ी देर में इसको cover करूंगा that why it is very very important that to eat during the daylight. Eat a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. Incorporate prebiotics in your diet. Stay hydrated by drinking enough water. Chew food thoroughly before swallowing. बचपन में हमें सिखाया गया था 32 टाइम्स वी शुड च्यू आवर फूड. आप कभी करके देखिए. जब मैं फर्स्ट टाइम, नॉट फर्स्ट टाइम, जब मैं when I joined this community, and there was a day when I was trying to actually count how many times do I chew my food, it was hardly like anything between 4 and 7. So it is very important that we chew our food thoroughly. Incorporate fiber-rich foods in the diet. Get enough sleep each night. Very, very important. Recently I was doing a health workshop in a kindergarten school where I was addressing the parents and the small kids. Obviously, it was for parents only. I mean, for the parents, because they had this small kids, especially in the age bracket of 4 to 5 years. It was very evident, kids who were sleeping on time, their behavior, their tantrum level was completely different versus the children who were sleeping late at night, who were more on the processed food. You could make the difference, right? And the parents were concerned about the kids. And जब आप kids को evaluate कर रहे थे, it was very evident that they are following the same habits and practices what the parents are doing, right? Include one fermented food every day. Exercise regularly. Consume nutrition-dense food. Opt for plant-based food. Give a gap of at least 2 hours between the dinner and the bedtime. Manage stress through relaxation methods. So ये बहुत important हो जाता है. When you become a part of this community, you will understand the small parameters and how they can be incorporated into our daily lifestyle. Eating slowly, right? What does it do when you eat slowly? So more chews, what it leads to enhanced digestion of nutrient, fewer calories are consumed, increase water consumption, reduce risk of diabetes and metabolic disease, less likely to become overweight, and decrease snacking later and fuller longer. Now, these are the benefits that you see when you eat slowly. Right? 4 ways to slow down your eating habit. Don't stand and eat out of a box, bag, or a carton. Sometimes वो जो जब तक आप उसको प्लेट में डालते हैं वो mindful eating नहीं होते, because you can't actually visualize what is the quantity that you are eating. Eat foods that take longer to eat. Do not eat while doing other things. Very, very harmful to our health. Put your spoon down between the two bites. Now, normally what we do, while we are eating the first bite, we have, like, in a way, we have already prepared for the second bite. And this is when you bring these habits to your daily practice, you will find that you've already started doing a mindful eating. And because of that mindful eating, you'll see a lot of your other health parameters improving. When to eat, listen to your inner body clock. As I said a few slides earlier, that it is very important that we eat during the daytime, right? Which is like early morning till before the sunset. Farooq bhi abhi is bare mein bol rahe the, that why it is very, very important to eat before the sunset. Now, there is some science behind it. And most of the health related issues, especially the blood pressure, the diabetes, the gut health, the liver health, the fatty liver grade, pancreatic health, all this is because of the late night or post sunset eating. So it is, and most of the people, they tend to skip their breakfast and they tend to eat a late night dinner. ये practice है. Now, if you see, it is like the other way around, what should be happening and versus what we are doing. Right? So इसका consequence क्या होता है, or why it is important? Do you know there is a body clock inside our bodies, and did you ever notice it? So there is a body clock, there is circadian rhythm, there is a body clock, and our organs, they operate as per that body clock. So it is very important, one need to feel their body clock. Now, hota kya hai? Now, when you see in the morning time, which is from sunrise to sunset, mainly it is support and activation, and maximum coordination and high concentration is happening at this time. And post sunset, the body gets into a repair and a rebuild, and probably, like, this is a time when the body, like, it is trying to fight to that free radical damage, that oxidative stress that has happened, and body usko fight karne ki koshish karta hai at night time. So this is how our main body clock is designed, and hence it becomes very important to have your first meal of the day as the breakfast, and then your dinner needs to be before the sunset. Now, there is a main body clock, which is your brain, and there is also something like your organs. For example, there is a clock with the liver, your heart health, your pancreatic health. ये सारी भी चीज अगर आप देखेंगे तो जो हमारे वाइटल ऑर्गन होते हैं उसमें उसका भी एक फंक्शनल टाइम है जो इसके साथ रिलेट होता है. नाउ, प्रॉब्लम किधर आती है? व्हेन जो हमारा सर्काडियन रिदम है, जो हमारे पैटर्न है, जब हम उसको डिस्टर्ब कर देते हैं. And because of that, there is a lot of hormonal issue that starts happening. There is a lot of other issues that come up because of when we stop following this body clock. So light is a very, very important function, because जब sunrise होता है, sunset होता है, body इसको identify करता है. But because of overexposure of the blue screen, the blue light, because of the screen time and all those stuff, the body नहीं समझ पाता कि टाइम और ये सारे फंक्शंस आपके डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं. और जब ये फंक्शन आपके डिस्टर्ब होते हैं, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ हेल्थ रिलेटेड इश्यूज व्हिच स्टार्ट्स हैपनिंग. एंड वन ऑफ द कॉमन इज योर हार्मोनल डिसऑर्डर्स. सो लाइट डाइट एक्सरसाइज, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है जो हमारे बॉडी को फंक्शन करने में हेल्प करता है. यू नो So body functions regulated by the body clock. So body clock क्या क्या चीज को regulate करता है? It defines your sleep quality. It defines your mind alertness and focus, controlling your stress hormone, balancing the growth hormone. Very, very important if you know any parent who have a small kid. Most of this growth, they happen between 10 and 12 at night, and then between 12 and 2. But most of the kids, if they don't go to bed like before 10 o'clock or before this time, आप देखेंगे उन बच्चों में बहुत सारे कॉम्प्लिकेशंस आते हैं. एंड बाद में ये जो कॉम्प्लिकेशंस है, जो कि हमारे हैबिट्स के वजह से हुआ है, उसको हम मेडिसिन से सप्रेस करने की कोशिश करते हैं. सो वी आर क्रिएटिंग द इशू, एंड दैट इशू वी आर ट्राइंग टू सप्रेस इट थ्रू अ मेडिकल हेल्प, राइट, थ्रू मेडिसिन. नाउ इट इज नॉट, it will it is not a long-term solution. And because it is not a long-term solution, it leads to some other complications. So balancing the growth hormone, body temperature control, very important. It helps in digestion, nutrient absorption, maintains in regulating your heart rate and your hunger. So it is very important अगर आप अपने body clock को align कर सको अपने lifestyle को as per the body clock that it's supposed to be done, right? As we have understood about the inner clock and its functioning, now let us use it to optimize our health by focusing on when to eat. Now if you see over here, the body has to release certain hormones, body has to perform certain activities at certain set of given time. अगर आप उसको डिस्टर्ब कर देते हैं, so imagine आपका जो entire क्लॉक है वो डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, और जो बॉडी के जो फंक्शन है, जो न्यूट्रिशन अब्जॉर्प्शन है, वो सारे मिसअलाइन हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज ऑफ विच it causes a lot of lifestyle issues. Now if you see the timeline, for example, over here, right, at your between 4 and 6, the cortisol release starts. Between 6 and 8, that's the sharpest rise in your blood pressure. Between 8 and 10, your intestinal movements begin. Between 10 and 2, now this is the best coordination. जो हम खाना खाते हैं उसका जो बेस्ट कोऑर्डिनेशन होता है एंड रिएक्शन, between 2 and 4 p.m. best muscle force. So if you see between 4, so there is this time, and this is what happens inside our body. So hence it is, so in this community you will understand that what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat. Or ये जो when to eat है, now when you become a part of this community, your health buddies will help you to define what time of the day you should be eating and what you should be eating. Very, very important. And you will see some significant difference in your health, right? When to eat, the food clock, so basically when you eat during the daytime, right, between the sunrise and the sunset, your fat, protein, carbs in the morning time, it is better utilized by the body. And if you eat post sunset, the body is not able to utilize this, and also it is impacting on other functions that the body was supposed to do, right? For example, fighting the free radical damage that has happened inside the body. Now body needs to prepare for fighting that, and hence because of all these things that you've just heard from me, when people don't follow this, you'll see that your diabetic health goes for a toss. There is a lot of issues with autoimmune disorders, right? Autoimmune disorder आज की तारीख में एक ऐसी चीज है which is on a very very high rise, and इसका अगर आप root cause देखेंगे is all these things. And autoimmune disorder ka there is no cure basically, so you need to live with those steroids, and there are other complications that you see in your body. So day versus night comparison, there is a difference in your metabolic health, your gut bacteria, your insulin level, your protein level. So basically, if you see, all those things gets impacted when you are having food between sunrise to sunset versus when you are not having. और जब ये सारी चीजों के ऊपर जब impact आता है, it also leads to a lot of lifestyle disorders. And hence, if you'll see, most of these lifestyle disorders, they don't have a cure. नॉर्मली क्या होता था पुराने जमाने में, अगर आपको फॉर एग्जांपल जॉइंटिस हो गया, मलेरिया हो गया, यू गो टू अ फिजिशियन, दे गिव यू अ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, आप वो मेडिसिन कोर्स करते थे और 10-15 दिन में आप ठीक हो जाते थे, एंड ऑफ द स्टोरी. If you see, most of the diseases that we see today, they are called lifestyle diseases. And the reason they are called lifestyle diseases, because of our habits, because of our practices, we are giving birth to all these challenges. And because we are creating a medical pill is not enough to cure them, and it can only suppress the symptom. Yeah, right. And hence you see कि अगर किसी को डायबिटीज हो जाता है तो उसको हाई ग्लाइसेमिक ड्रग्स पूरे टाइम खाते रहना पड़ता है, या किसी को अगर थायराइड हो गया उसको बार बार खाते रहना पड़ता है, एंड इट डजंट गेट क्योर. बट द आंसर लाइज इन is in correcting your habits. What is metabolism? Basically, it is fuel to the car. The same way the body consumes energy from the food that we eat. Now, the type of energy that the body will get depends on the type of food you are eating. Now, this processed food, वो थोड़ी देर के लिए तो होते हैं, but it causes a lot of issues on your liver and your pancreatic health. So, hence, it is very important that we make the right choices of the food that we are eating. Why morning nutrition? As I already said, it is like you are breaking the fast. Your metabolic rate is at its lowest and it needs to kickstart. And hence, your morning nutrition is very important. Your protein in the body is in the negative balance when you get up in the morning, because the body has already done a lot of repair and maintenance work while you were asleep. So, hence, your protein level needs to be very, very at the optimum level when you get up in the morning, and it needs to be a part of your breakfast, right? Alteration in the gut bacteria. Now, impact on your circadian rhythm, as we already discussed, insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance. ये सारी चीजें फैटी लिवर को भी लीड करती है, ये सारी चीजें पैनक्रेटिक हेल्थ को भी लीड करती है, ये सारी चीजें आपके गट हेल्थ को भी लीड करती है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दिस थिंग्स यू विल फाइंड your heart health also gets compromised because of all these things, you know. So regular intake of breakfast is a healthy state of body, and regular skipping of the breakfast, you will start seeing a health issues. Morning nutrition, you will see a separate session where you will hear all these things from our experts in detail and in depth, you know. So I hope you got something valuable for you. और कुछ नहीं तो आपको सिर्फ इतना मैसेज आज यहाँ से जरूर लेके जाना है, that it is very very important to make the right choices. It is very important to give morning nutrition the right choice. It becomes very important to you know, give the priority of the food plate and the food timing that we are eating. So start every day with gratitude and optimism. Have your nutrition in time, have your intentions and goal very very clear. The best part about this community is, you know, it helps you to set a clear health goal, you know. आपकी लाइफ स्पैन क्या है, आपका हेल्थ स्पैन कैसा है. जैसा कि रुचिता ने स्टार्टिंग में बताया था, फारूक हैज दिस मिशन ऑफ हर घर हेल्दी, हर घर मेडिसिन फ्री. वे सिर्फ यही एक हेल्थ गोल बहुत अच्छा है, यू नो. I'm living in Gurgaon for past 22 years. There is not even a single clinic जहाँ पे मेरी OPD की registration है. Thanks to this program, thanks to the principles that I've learned from Farooq, we were able to make the right choices and we are able to take this to many people, because ये जो Farooq का मिशन है, हर घर हेल्दी हर घर मेडिसिन फ्री, इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, यू नो. आज की तारीख में अगर आपसे कोई सवाल पूछे व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, समय पैसा या हेल्थ, आई एम श्योर हम सब पहला हमारा रिस्पॉन्स होगा हेल्थ इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. बट आर वी इक्विप्ड ऑन दिस सब्जेक्ट? In this era of social media, the most difficult element is what is the source of information. उस वो जो इंफॉर्मेशन हम सुन रहे हैं उसका सोर्स क्या है. Thankfully, we have a mentor who is coaching us, who is like 8-time Asian, who has represented India in Asian Games, 3-time Olympian, a world champion, Arjun Award winner. Now imagine करिए, स्पोर्ट्स एक ऐसी फील्ड है, अगर आप ओलंपिक्स में रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, so what is the level of fitness level and all these understandings that you need to know. We need to understand a complete holistic approach towards health, you know. सिर्फ फूड पे फोकस करेंगे और बाकी एलिमेंट को इग्नोर कर देंगे, इट इज नॉट इनफ. सिर्फ एक्सरसाइज पे फोकस करेंगे, फूड को इग्नोर कर देंगे तो भी इनफ नहीं है. अगर सिर्फ फूड और एक्सरसाइज को फोकस करेंगे और न्यूट्रिशन को नहीं समझेंगे तो भी इनफ नहीं है. सो यू नो, इन टुडेस एनवायरनमेंट इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वन नीड्स टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाट इज होलिस्टिक हेल्थ ऑल अबाउट. एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट दिस प्रोग्राम इज, you know, this program focuses on a complete 360-degree approach on a holistic health, you know. I hope you picked up something new today. And as Farooq said, exercise is the most important thing, because he always says, you rest, you rust, you rust, you die. So, you know, so what you learn, what you'll like what to expect from this program is what is holistic health all about, how we can live a medicine free life, how we can bring in those small changes जो हम अपने हैबिट्स में लेके आ सकते हैं, और वो छोटे छोटे चेंजेस कैसे हम रेस्ट ऑफ द लाइफ फॉलो करें, एंड हाउ टू हैव अ हेल्दी लाइफ. सो दैट वाज फ्रॉम अस. थैंक यू. ओवर टू रुचिता.
Thank you so much, Raj, for explaining that wonderfully. Guys, as Raj said, we hope that you've gained some knowledge today and you know how to go about implementing it. With that, we come to an end of this session. We'll see you in the next one with a brand new topic. Until then, good night, stay safe, take care.